And I think there's many organizations where they don't understand their contracts. They don't know where they are. They don't know what's in them, and which is kind of sad, right? You spend all this time doing a contract. You're like, well, I hope someone knows what's in it. I hope someone's looking at it and it's important. This type of technology is a very easy way to help with that and to make sure you understand what you're agreeing to in your contracts and you're doing something with it. I'm Maria Tzagournis. I'm currently head of global account management for North America. So I work for DHL Supply Chain. Supply Chain is a global organization that does warehousing, domestic transportation, various other value-added services for our customers. We are actually pretty decentralized, even though we're a global company. Every region handles contracting a little bit different. So for example, in the Americas, our team reports up through legal and really owns the contracting process, drafting, negotiation, all of that. In other regions, it's between legal and maybe a commercial team. So what we're trying to do is create some consistency at a global level and making sure that our commercial agreements are following the right process and that we're getting everyone engaged that we need to come out with a end products that is acceptable to our organization. As you can imagine, it was not an easy thing to do. Some people's minds, it's not broken. So it's fine. Why do we need to change? But little by little, we were trying to change how we looked at contracting to make it even better. We want to be seen as a value partner. At one point, you were probably thought of as the department that says no, right? Like maybe some legal departments, right? Oh, I'm going to go there and they're going to be, nope, you can't do that. So it's actually understanding the business, ingraining ourselves in the business and understanding what kind of deals we're going to be working on. What's our strategy? Because we may be looking at different types of businesses we're getting into so we can be prepared to actually help them with how we would contract for those things. But we really transformed into yes, but. So we can do this, but this is what we would need to be able to do that. We have to collaborate or else we're never going to agree a contract, right? So we can't do it on our own. We can't have legal do it on their own or sales or finance, right? It has to be, we call it a pack of wolves. When we sell as a pack of wolves and we do it together and everyone's on board and it's a team sport here, right? It's a team sport and we want to make sure that everyone is comfortable with what we're agreeing to. I think to ensure that commercial contracting is a valuable function within the organization, you need the buy-in from senior management. So when we first started our group, which was back in the late 90s, we made sure that all the management understood that they should not be signing documents or anything that did not go through our group. So we had their buy-in to follow the process, because if they weren't following the process, right, and people could just send things to them, why would they go through our team to actually review the contract? Luckily, our General Counsel is very proactive around innovation and is very forward-thinking and always wanting us to look at different things for contracting and the legal department as a whole. So we've been very fortunate in that way. We had a separate project looking at our current life cycle process. And as part of that, we started wanting to look at some AI tools. And this really came from our finance organization wanting to understand what's in our contracts. So we did an RFP, invited a lot of various companies, and Luminance was the one that really stood out to us as being above all the other ones in their technology. So everything that we were looking for regarding contract summaries, being able to summarize agreements, being able to pull out data, doing it in a very efficient way, not a lot of coding you had to do to get to the information. It was very user-friendly. So the team that was looking at this really it was kind of a no-brainer for us to pick Luminance, and it's been great so far. Being able to do contract summaries has really been improved. So doing it manually, could take up to a day, as I said, but With Luminance, you upload the document and you can have the summary in a minute. You can also query very easily if you have specific questions. So it really has changed, the efficiency of what we're doing, but also the ability to get more data out of our documents than just doing it manually. One of the things we really have a challenge with is third-party paper. So we don't get to use our template very often. We have to use the customer's template. And a lot of times it does not match what types of services that we're doing. So, for example, a salesperson might get an RFP with a 50-page document, send it over and says, "Well, what does this look like?" And someone would have to read it, all 50 pages, and then be like, "It's not great. It's okay. It's terrible." But now we can put it through Luminance and compare it against our standards. And within a couple minutes, it'll give you very high level, red, yellow, green. So we could say, gosh, this has a lot of stuff that we don't want in it. It's going to take a while to negotiate. Or it looks okay. There's a couple things. So it can really give a quick answer to our sales folks of how difficult is this contracting process going to be, and then sort of tailor our approach with the customer based on that. To use AI and to transform your organization, it takes a lot of time. For us, we had all of our documents in a repository. So, step one, that's great, right? And we thought, okay, we'll just put them into Luminance. It has taken us so much time because we had non contractual agreements in that repository. We had multiple agreements in there. We had renewals on a different agreement that wasn't documented properly. So there is a lot of work that takes to just get your contracts and your data to where you can do something with it. We would say garbage in, garbage out, right? So if you don't have the right platform, the right settings, the right documents you want to do, the right data, you're not going to get out of it what you think you should. And I think that's where a lot of companies struggle. They think it's the technology that's causing the problem, but it's actually your data and your structure that's causing the problem. So I would say don't underestimate the amount of time it takes to get things ready to be used. We chose to do the super user approach because we have a very large organization. As I mentioned, we're a bit decentralized, so not the same team is doing the same role in every region. So we couldn't just say, hey, the commercial contracting team is responsible for everything related to luminance, because that isn't accurate. So we wanted people in each region that could be the champions and really embrace it, really understand it, can help train everyone else in their region, and also be available for questions or issues that come up. The team that's working on this is not their full-time job. So we need people within the regions or within the different functions to take some ownership to be able to really understand how to use the tool and be able to help others. And we walked through the value and what we're trying to do with it so they can really understand. I have a bi-weekly super user call where we talk through what we're working on, any issues people are having to really get everyone engaged. I think as a leader, you also need to understand what you're trying to do. What do you want? So there's tons of tools out there that can do very similar things or can do a lot different things. But you need to understand, what is your end game? What are you trying to get to? And then find the tool that can help you get there the best. I think there's just so much stuff out there, so many different tools and technologies, and you can get really bogged down in, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. And I think, so what's your end game? What are you trying to do? What challenges are you trying to help? What are your use cases? And then really work backwards into, what tools do I want to look at to help with that? I also think it's important to understand what current systems and tools you have that may have technology like this that can be added on to them or bolted on, putting another platform, but bolting it on, because you don't want to have all these separate things that then don't connect. And it'll just make it very difficult. So I think you need to understand what you're doing, where you want to go, and then find the right solution. All that anyone talks about is AI. So I don't think that it's going away. For me, like in contracting, I think there's great potential just because it's unstructured data that we have, and there's no easy way to create structured data out of that and do something with it. But this is a way to do that. And that's what Luminance has helped us with a lot. So I think it has great potential to keep improving, keep looking at things differently within contracts and getting like the insights you need out of them.